brewing for some time between the head of Marvel Entertainment and seemingly Kevin Feige, or the other way that I've been hearing it is Kevin Feige versus pretty much everybody at Marvel Entertainment. So
having a writer and an author at the table, an artist and an author at the table, I've got to ask, do you think it's going to affect all aspects of that particular industry and that particular? I mean, there's a lot going on, right, Keith?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, yeah, because right now, Marvel Studios has now been taken out of out of control of Marvel Entertainment. So
no, you said that backwards.
I'm sorry. Marvel Studios is no longer a part of Marvel Entertainment, and so you have Kevin Feige who's answering directly to Alan Horn, and which is cool, but you could interpret that any number of ways. So
I was going to say, like, for me, it can go. I really don't know yet.
If you were working for Marvel as
ways.
a writer right now, would you be worried that you're going to have a paycheck on Monday?
Well, that's just it. Is, I mean, maybe for a couple of weeks. But I mean,
what you didn't see was her typing resume styles.
Sitting on my hands now. What I was going to say though is that it's, I mean, especially right now, everyone loves to see like TV shows and movies and things like that, and that's a big driving force of getting new fans. With it separating, it's harder to, I mean, when it was together, it was playing off of each other, they were working together a lot more closely. With it separating, it's, I mean, you can do whatever the hell they want to.
And I agree with, like, the thing with me is, and me and Chris actually kind of had this little, not a spat, but a little Facebook talk about this. You know, you have Marvel Entertainment on one end, which includes the comics and all this. So how far are they going to separate from the source material now? I mean, are we going to get something where, are we going to get like which we kind of had it with Big Hero 6, can Pixar come in and just like make any, Marvel property now? And that's the only thing that bothers me. I have complete faith in what Disney can do with Marvel. We've seen it. They've showed us what they can do. But now, since they're separating, how much of that bag are they going to have in their hand?
I think over here, purely from a movie standpoint, this is a good thing for them. But as a all-encompassing thing,
yes,
this is going to end up hurting them longer in the long run. They're already having problems working between the TV shows and the movies, and they want to create that one continued universe. They've made that clear. They're going to have so much more problems now that they're all completely broken apart.
I agree.
But at the same time, it gets them away from the comics. With so many more people are unhappy with what they've been doing lately with the comics. So does that mean that, hey, guess what? You no longer have to worry about Thor turning into a female? Does it mean that, I mean, do they stick to the older source material at this point? I'm not really sure.
But in the oldest source material, Thor really did dress up as a woman a couple of times. Oh, wait, that's mythology. I'm sorry.
I think source material, other version.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, my bad.
I'm sorry. I think you're thinking about Loki, who actually turns into a female in
source material. He tricks Thor into... Oh, sorry.
Well, given what
mythology.
Given what DC has been facing and having to put ads in their comics, some have been saying that, the amount of money that the films are making have been helping supplement any problems or helping to give them money where and fill any shortfalls the books on the publishing side may have been experiencing. So will this have an effect on the publishing side as far as, will Marvel have to start putting ads in their books? No one really knows. I'm kind of scared because on the one hand, I believe everybody should get along, but sometimes you have a tense relationship like you had with these gentlemen, and it seems to work. Mr. Perlmeyer, above everything else, was a penny pincher, and it's worked. Because if any of these films had not had someone like that within them, the budgets would have been astronomical. If you look at the budget for both Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. The budget's basically the same for both films. Now, normally in that particular situation, you would have expected the budget to be bigger
For the second one.
for the
Yeah.
second one.
exactly.
And it wasn't, but it worked.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, it for whatever else you can say,
Well,
it worked.
Unless you're Disney, who thinks it's a failure. So,
Yeah.
you know, you put $1 billion, you get $1 billion out of a movie, and somehow that's
Well,
a
a
failure.
$1.4 billion. And
Oh,
that's a
there you
failure.
go.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, why was it not 0.5?
Well, but,
Exactly.
The one.
here's,
Shame on you.
1.4 ...
but
yeah.
here's the thing: how many around the table actually went and saw it twice, compared to how many went around the table and saw the first one twice? That's
Exactly.
why
That's
it's
a good point.
that's why it's a failure to them. That's it.
Well, that plus the problems behind the scenes.
Yeah,
of
that's
which
it.
Now you're starting to hear more talk. Initially, it was, you know, Disney, somebody coming in messing with Joss Whedon. Now you're starting to hear fingers being pointed at Kevin Feige. You know, that Kevin Feige was the real reason why things went badly behind the scenes. And you're starting to hear from people that used to work under him that are now saying, you know, this guy's a tyrant. You know, you don't really want to work with this dude. And again, there's all kinds of finger pointing right now. Things will probably, unfortunately, become clearer as we get further along.
Yes.
So,
It annoys me that a great deal of time they forget about us, the fans.
no, they don't forget about us. That's the difference in their work relationship.
We
They-
love
they-
No, wait, you're thinking of Fox.
Yes,
That's the thing. But no,
Too soon.
they
Way
they-
too soon.
They love us. They want more of us. But now what we're going to have to deal with is, you know, you're going to have the movies in one section, and you're going to probably look at some deals being made right now. Kevin Feige is now probably going to be able to do whatever he wants under Alan Horn, meaning we may actually get a Fox deal.
Yeah.
You may actually have the X-Men and Fantastic
Yeah.
Four appear in the Infinity films, which means that, you know, the big question then becomes, what is Marvel going to want out of this? Are they going to want to do like with Sony, where they're going to make Fox recast everybody, which is still a good possibility. The cheapest way to go. Everybody can get more money out of that if they go ahead and recast everything. You don't have to worry about that for Fantastic Four because they're already out the door.
Yeah.
Right?
You can,
Thank God.
that was the original intent after X-Men Apocalypse. They were going to reboot the whole thing anyway, even with Jennifer Lawrence saying that she'd come back and Michael Fassbender saying he'd come back. All you've heard are words. There have been no contract signed. So as of right now, within the next 3 or 4 months, we could hear something, which is great for all us around here.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure everybody around here would
Well,
like to see
yeah.
that.
And that's why I agree with it. We're going to be the winners out of this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, whichever way
Yeah.
it goes, we're the winners.
Well, that's actually great. Awesome. I'm looking forward to that. So, Brandon, you know, it's weird how the season of conventions and the major expos and stuff, it's weird how they happen sometimes. PAX Prime just recently happened. That's like the biggest for video games, correct?
It is definitely one of the biggest ones. That and like E3.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
Right.
behind E3, it's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
PAX is always one if you can ever get to as a gamer. That's one of the ones you want to go to. E3 is not easy for anybody to get into anymore.
Right. Mhm.
So PAX is where you want to go, and PAX is where you'll see a whole lot of new premiere stuff, especially going into the Christmas season.
Which
That's
is,
where people
you
will
know,
show
for
off a lot of
parents
things.
and stuff, I get that, but the heck with parents and kids.
I was going to say, yes, I would
I'm
go
all
to PAX
about
for my son.
for playing for myself. What's coming out? What's
you,
new?
You get the premieres, but you also get a lot of hands-on stuff, which is really cool from PAX. I know a lot of the big ones like E3 and BlizzCon, they do a lot of like shows and stuff where they reveal like trailers and stuff like that, and that's mostly what it is. But PAX is a ton of hands-on stuff.
I saw some VR stuff, some virtual
Yep,
reality stuff.
yep, they had some of that stuff
came
too.
out of it, which wouldn't actually, as an artist, David, wouldn't that be cool to work on some virtual?
Oh, that'd be awesome. Like I think they showed a totally
Mind-blowing.
different subject. Like they had a Minecraft Oculus,
Mhm.
and the guy was just like picking up the blocks and just putting them up to certain things. I'm like, oh, the things I could do with that. I mean, oh.
But yeah, no,
And
it's-
now the show took a turn.
it's just always great to see what news coming out. I mean, you got stuff like Halo 5, which is I've been a big fan of the Halo series for a long time. So to see a whole lot more coming out of that, you know, I like the direction they've gone with since the end of Bungie. You know, I was always sad to see Bungie go, but I like what they've done with it since then. And there's a whole bunch of other games, you know.
Yeah, I know a lot of people really like the Dark Souls games. I know they're making another one, and that was one of the highlights there.
Yeah.
For car racing games, Forza 6, big highlight. Though some of the biggest ones were Rise of the Tomb Raider, had a really strong showing, as well as Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Battleborn. Which I know David is super excited about.
I'm super stoked about Battleborn. The guys that done Borderlands, yes. Battleborn's my thing.
I think there was also a Destiny, the last...
Oh, the Taken King.
Yes, that's
yes.
it. That was...
And it actually comes out, like, I think in a couple weeks, like
Yep.
the 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played the first one, loved it. This one looks a lot better because you get the first one with the new content. So
Right.
excited.
I take it Brandon's not a fan?
I was so ready for Destiny for a long time. I was following it from the very, very beginning. I was one of the people, we did the beta with all my friends, and I told everybody, this is a beta. This is not the whole game. You guys got to go in there and play the game with me. And then we went in to play the game, and the beta was the game. And everybody laughed at me. And so I quit playing, and I don't want to touch Destiny ever again. Like I said, Bungie failed me a lot. They took a lot of my goodwill that I got from Halo from them.
They took your street cred and
They
went,
did, yeah.
And your geek cred.
Oh, yeah.
They took your gamer card.
I
Man,
was
that's
going to say,
harsh.
like, dude, Brandon's got tons of street cred.
You want to touch this?
Now, was there the free to plays are a big thing right now? Is there any new free to plays from PAX at all? Because I personally, I love some of my free to plays, but the downside is they get boring.
Actually,
Like
Guild Wars
PlanetSide 2
2
works.
Guild Wars 2 announced that they are making free-to-play for everyone. It's slightly restricted. You only get a couple character slots. You get less bag slots. You cannot send gold. It's to stop gold spammers and stuff like that. But you can play all the way up to level 60. You get access to World v. World and everything like that. And if you buy the expansion, which is coming out on October 23rd, you get the free game and all your restrictions lift as well. So if you've been thinking about trying it out, it's a really fun game. That's coming out pretty soon.
So now, as a whole, I know exactly how many gamers are in the room right now. The free to play thing, is it a bad thing?
Absolutely not. I think the free-to-play model is awesome. It gives you a chance to try out a game. If you want to put money into it, you can. A lot of them are just doing cash shops for cosmetic things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily to give you a boost into the game or anything.
Oh, no, I was agreeing.
Yeah, it was green, yeah.
I've always had this kind of love-hate relationship with the free-to-play games, especially because I enjoy playing them. There's been a couple. Ascension, I think, was one that I was playing on my 360, where you're kind of like the big warrior guy. And, I loved playing through that game. It didn't feel like I needed to pay to be a badass in that game. But there's a lot of those games.
Warframe on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Same way.
Yeah, same way.
But there's a lot of other games, too, where it's like, I can't, I'm not going to be able to compete anymore. Like, if I wanted to play, what's the World of Warcraft? The Hearthstone.
Yep.
If you're not buying the new expansion pack, you're not getting the new cards, you're not competing on the higher level with it
And the
anymore.
grinding in that game sucks.
Oh, yeah. So I ended up giving up on that game because I'm like, I don't want to pay, and it's $20 for every expansion.
Oh, wow.
That's like buying a World of Warcraft expansion.
Yeah.
I feel like it depends upon who's
Right.
publishing and making
Yeah.
the game, whether or
Yes.
not that free-to-play game is actually free and you can actually stay on pace versus, Blizzard, who's
I like
free-to-play, but not really.
I've just started on the new Magic Duels game, and I like their kind of option to do it. You earn your cards as you go through, and it really works really well. So it's a real love-hate relationship with this free.
Well, and the difference with that one, too, is just like in Hearthstone, they do quests, but every game you win, you get coins to get new packs. Whereas in Hearthstone, it's every 3 games that you win. So it makes the grind a whole lot harder.
So, David.
Yes.
It's no secret you're a gamer.
Yes, sir.
Everybody
Whoa,
knows
what?
I am what? No, what?
I can't sit here with you.
Wait,
Yeah.
you're an author and a gamer?
So-
I'm an author and a gamer. I like to read games.
So who would you
Mind
draw
blown.
for? What company would you? What game are you currently playing right now? That they made that you would
Hands
like?
down. I would love to work for Gearbox and Borderlands. I would love to create some of those characters.
The artwork in that game.
Yeah, in the
Oh.
last 10 years of a game, that is the game I think is the most brilliant, most creative. I mean, just tops for me. I would love to sit down with my job and just create some of those crazy characters. Would be a blast.
Now, did you mention something? I heard Magic.
Yeah. Brandon actually mentioned Magic Duels, which at PAX they did have.
So his geek grade gets even lower.
Hey,
Hey